from the front lines of faith and justice. This is Firebird Dispatch.
We don't need to tell you that the world is aching. We all feel it. This week, headlines have been relentless again. But here at Firebird Spirit, we don't turn away. We trace the flames of truth through the smoke. We listen for the spirit in the rubble. We gather the broken pieces and we ask, what still burns with life? Where is the spirit still speaking? So here are 4 stories from this past week, each one hard, but each one holy. Each one asking us not to go numb. Let's begin.
When bombs fall.
Dateline, Gaza and the human soul. When bombs fall, so does the illusion of distance. More than 100 Palestinians have been killed in a single 24-hour period this week. Food is disappearing. Water is contaminated. People are starving. Children are dying, not just from violence, but from famine. In today's world, surrounded by industrialized countries. Meanwhile, politicians, political leaders, they issue statements. They trade blame and they call it strategy. But let us be clear. Starvation is not strategy. Collective punishment is not defense. And silence in the face of this suffering is not neutrality. It is complicity. At least those are the standards for people of faith, people of conscience. The spirit we follow sees no borders around compassion. We cry out with those in Gaza. We stand with those working for a ceasefire. We refuse to let their story disappear. And we must not turn away.
Tariffs, Power, and the Poor Pay.
Dateline, Washington, D.C. Tariffs, Power, and the Poor Who Pay. Trump's new round of sweeping tariffs, up to 50%, hits dozens of countries and entire industries. He's calling it a win for American strength. But we know how these things go. Powerful voices make the moves, but it's the everyday worker who loses a job. It's the family whose groceries get more expensive until they have to choose between food and rent. So let's name it plainly. This is economic nationalism wrapped in populist language. And once again, the cost falls on the most vulnerable among us. There is no faith tradition on this planet that teaches those values. At some point, everyone will be held accountable. The Firebird rises when we reject economic cruelty masked as policy. We know strength doesn't come from isolation. It comes from justice, inclusion, compassion, and love.
GOP rebellion. The base fights back.
Dateline, Hometown, USA. The Republican rebellion when the base fights back. That big ugly bill that has become the big ugly law, passed with celebration by GOP leadership, is now causing fractures, even among the GOP. In town halls across the country, voters are furious. Why? Because the law slashes Medicaid and food support. Medical care will become more expensive if you can even get it. With the cut in Medicaid spending, many hospitals, nursing homes, and clinics are closing. This new law deepens the deficit. It prioritizes tax breaks for the wealthy over care for working people. Republican senators like Tom Tillis are bailing, while others are dodging questions. Trump is threatening to primary the disloyal. But I heard one GOP congressman at a local town meeting this last week, whose constituents told him they no longer feel he is a good match for them. He's not going to need a primary, I'll tell you. But this isn't just political drama. It is a spiritual reckoning. We were never meant to govern by cruelty. The human soul, that spark that is part of the divine within us, it was never meant to lead with lies. So we say it again. Love your neighbor is not a partisan slogan. And frankly, it's hard as hell to do. But that is a sacred command.
Epstein's ghost and the fight for truth.
Dateline, the shadows behind the spotlight. Epstein's ghost and the fight for truth. Democrats in the Senate this week invoked an obscure federal rule to demand the release of all DOJ files related to Jeffrey Epstein. Deadline for that? August 15th. Keep your eyes on that date. Republicans are stalling. Mike Johnson says redacting the names is enough. James Comer promised subpoenas and has delivered none. And the survivors, they are still waiting. This is not just about one man. It's about networks of power. It's about who is protected and who is silenced. It's about a justice system that is still tilted toward the elite. At Firebird Spirit, we believe every truth deserves light. We stand with survivors. We demand transparency and accountability. And we pray for a world where the powerful no longer shield one another in darkness.
Epilogue. We rise together.
So, what do we do when it all feels like too much? We breathe. We remember. And we act together. We share the story others want hidden. We will not shut up about them. And still, we persist. We write one letter. We light one candle. We sign one petition. We hold one trembling hand. We organize, even if it's just to send that letter or hold that hand. We pray. We talk with each other. We refuse to go numb. Because Firebird Spirit doesn't rise through rage. We rise through sacred clarity, through compassion that burns clean, through a love that refuses to look away. No matter how bad things got for Mother Mary, she stayed and watched what happened to her son. That is the presence we're talking about, refusing to look away. We rise by standing on the rock of our faith in God, in the teachings that we value, in the worth and the dignity of every human being. We rise with the Spirit. The world may try to deaden our senses, but the Spirit within us still pulses with life. No one can kill that. We are not numb. We are alive. And that, my friends, is holy. And it is holy resistance. This has been your Firebird Dispatch for August 3rd. Join us for more on our YouTube channel at Firebird Spirit Hope. Over and out.
You've been watching Firebird Dispatch, rising in love, grounded in justice. Join the movement at #FirebirdSpirit.